Welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page, guys. We're happy to have you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave us comments, do all the stuff.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. I got a drug addiction to feed.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt, and I am joined not by my normal Adam. Adam's out today, but I got Troy McEady. You would know him from the Beyond the Blinds podcast. He's one half of the co-hosts over there, and then he also hosts the Dunzo podcast. Troy, how are you, buddy?
I'm very good, and I'm very excited to be here. I'm honored to be generic Adam just for the day.
Generic Adam. I love it. Well, Adam's out, but, every Friday we do the Raw Rundown, catching everyone up on the biggest stories in entertainment news so that they feel like they didn't miss anything. I would say this is the Cliff Notes version of entertainment news wrapped up into a quick 20 minutes. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
Coming in at number 10, Kanye West is not, and I repeat, not getting any help. Well, at least according to his rep. And so, Troy, I don't know if you've heard this, but basically there was a whole story that came out in Page Six earlier this week that said a source close to the Kardashians basically said that Kanye West told his ex-spouse that he was going away to get help because, it's all too much seeing her out with Pete meeting the kids. And clearly we know he has a lot of instability, and so
Right.
that was the story that came out, and his rep is saying not true. You know anything about this?
It's like I dip in and out of Kanye because it makes me sad, but then also I'm obsessed, because I'm a human person. And it's like I don't think there's anything more dangerous than allowing the country and the world to be a part of your like mental health journey. Do you know what I
Totally
mean?
true.
Like if you've decided to get help or not, or if you're medicated or not, like the fact that we can sort of gauge when Kanye has or hasn't been medicated because people talk about it and he tells people is like crazy to me. It's so private.
Well, he can't stop himself though. That's the thing that
Yeah,
I think is wild is it's been like this for years, but Kanye is just like he wants the world to know what he is going through at the moment. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like there's no moment in Kanye's life that we didn't know whether he was happy or sad or his mom passed away. We knew, like, we've known everything about Kanye,
Right.
and that's the weird part is like I think he's just one of those people, and I don't know if it's narcissistic or just
Yeah.
his personality, but it's like I'm going through it. I need to let the world know what's happening.
Yeah, he's very self-destructive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's
That's a good way
very
to put it.
Yeah, it's like the only person he ever really hurts in the long run is himself, which is like the sad thing to watch. And watching him just kind of dismantle his career has been the craziest
That's the weird
thing.
part. Every time I feel like, oh, there's no, like people are gonna hate Kanye, they're never gonna want to listen to his music again. Then he like comes back and
That's
everyone
true.
listens. I'm like, I don't get it. All right, let's move on. I feel like I've had enough Kanye, even though we're gonna mention him one more time in the rundown.
And that's the
All
world
right.
we live in.
Right, it's so true. All right, so number 9, Netflix is now slapping Will Smith across the face and pumping the brakes on his new film. So here's the deal. If you haven't heard this story, Fast and Loose is a new film that Netflix was producing. Will Smith is the lead actor, and I can give you the whole basically plot story of it. It is about, let me find this. It's about a guy who wakes up down in Tijuana. All right, here we go. We'll follow a criminal who loses his memory after an attack. After mysteriously waking up in Tijuana, the character is forced to discover the clues of his past, leading him to learn that he has 2 identities. All right, so basically, the Oscar slap has now caused him to lose a whole bunch of things. He is now no longer going to be a part of the Academy. Netflix is backing out of this thing. Troy, if Chris Rock doesn't care, why does everyone else care?
I think that there's a little bit, it's complicated, right? It's so layered. For one thing, what he did just on a surface level is wrong. Like walking up to a person and beating them across the face is wrong no matter what, right? And he should be held accountable for it. In my opinion, to be honest with you, like he could have done anything sitting in that seat. He could have screamed. He could have done anything to embarrass Chris Rock if that's what he wanted to do. But when he got up and hit him on the face on live television, it was just such a display of like, I'm A-list. I can do anything I want. I'm Will Smith. I can walk up on stage fixing my tie and hit a guy and then slowly walk back to my seat. Like, I do think that there should be a little bit of pushback publicly from the industry that he's in for what he did.
So, okay, I'm conflicted with this one because I don't feel like one action necessarily defines a person.
Hmm.
I think that action obviously was a very dumb move on his part. He could have walked up there, like you said, screamed at Chris Rock in the face, turned around, walked off, and everything would have gone on. The fact that he hit him, but is the big problem. My second problem comes in where Chris Rock isn't even pressing charges, and Chris Rock is moving on with his life.
Hmm.
So we're in this cycle in culture where we're like, you messed up, we're going to take you down now. And
Right.
that's what I feel like it is. Because, again, Netflix, I'm sure that they would have moved along with life, but they're probably getting phone calls and they're getting people urging them to pull this movie and to go away and all this stuff. And so they're feeling the pressure. So they're now pulling back. I just think if Chris Rock doesn't care, why do we all care so much?
Well, I think it sets a tone. I think the way that his employers handle it sets a tone. You know what I mean? I think that it says a lot about
Yeah, but think how many employers are out there that if they had any idea what their employees are actually doing off work hours would be
Yeah.
very disappointed.
It's true. I guess I just think about it in the sense of like, what if it wasn't Will Smith? Like, what if it wasn't somebody who was charming and likable and
If it was Kanye,
if it was, what if Kanye West walked up on stage and hit a guy across the face?
well, he'd be in court right now.
You know what I mean? Like,
But people would expect that, and that's half the problem is Will Smith has built a character on being the nice guy and not having like again, this is one moment in time. I'm not excusing the moment,
right.
but it is one moment, and now you're gonna watch the world crumble. Well, I mean, we've seen this 100 times. People
Yeah,
just
I agree
will
with. I do. I get
cancel
what
them.
you're saying. I do understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. This idea that everybody has to be torn, like ripped apart if they do something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, people like to watch, successful people crumble is really
Mhm.
what it comes down to. All right, number 8. There's going to be a new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, but kind of shocked where it's going to be. So today, Disney revealed that there's going to be a new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and they're putting it at Epcot Center.
Okay, I'm not like a Disney head,
Mhm.
so I am actually really excited for you to tell me why this is so weird.
Because Epcot, like when I think Disney, I'm doing Disneyland,
Right.
I'm doing California Adventure, I'm doing Disney World, I am doing like Hollywood Land out there. I'm doing everywhere, but not Epcot. Epcot is literally like the last place that I think to go to. I mean, people have told me it's fun. They've got all this like around the world cuisines and all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. It's not on my bucket list of Disney places. I'm going to go on a Disney cruise before I go to Epcot. So for me, I'm just surprised. I guess the one thing I do see is with Guardians being so popular, they're trying to pull the people into that park.
Oh, okay, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. I have okay,
Right.
so I've been to Disney once, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not even just saying this because it's a part of the story. Epcot is the
Mhm.
most memorable thing for me.
Really? Out of all the Disney parks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was
What did you what about it? Tell me. I mean, again, people tell me all the time I'm crazy that I don't love Epcot. Just it's not my spot. So I'm curious why you loved it.
I really loved the around the world food thing, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't think it would be so immersive, but it was like
Mhm.
really, really. I was like, I literally have been to 40 countries today. I'm not kidding. Like, you know what I mean? It was really fun. I don't know. When I think about the one time that I went to Disney, the most fun that I had was like that part of it, just like exploring the other countries. I don't know.
That's so funny. You know what? Maybe if I went there without kids,
Hmm.
I would enjoy Epcot. But because I have kids, it's like, oh, we got to go on all the rides. We got to
Oh
do all
yeah.
the things. And I think for them eating around the world, they'd be like, Dad, what the fuck? Why did you
Yeah.
take me to Epcot? Like,
Yeah.
that's jacked up, man.
Yeah, I
All
guess
right.
it's important to note that I wasn't sober when I exited the world. I wasn't sober, so yeah, you would have more fun.
Very true, very true. I mean, trust me, when you go to Disney, you want to get just totally plastered so you don't have to remember hanging out with your kids for 17 hours in a day. But it sounds like it'll open May 27th at Epcot. So there we go. Number 7, Britney Spears tells her mom to go F off. Pay your own damn bills, woman. I've been paying for you and your lifestyle for the last, I don't know, what is it, 30 years at this point? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, every money, every coin that Britney has brought in basically has gone to her family. And so Lynn Spears filed a petition on November 1st requesting all of her legal fees to be paid by Britney, whose conservatorship was terminated, obviously, as everyone knows, back on November 12th. And so, you know, this was a 13-year conservatorship. And Lynn's going, I racked up a $600,000 bill. And so I need Britney to pay for it because I don't have that kind of money. Troy, I know you are the biggest Britney fan out there. I know that you are just waiting to talk. Thoughts on this one?
I gotta be honest with you. I took like tiny little notes before we got started, and I wrote down, if I were Britney, what I would tell
Oh,
her mom, like, quote, you should use your money from Through the Storm to pay for your lawyers. And that if you were a smart girl, you would have invested the money from the tell-all book that you wrote about my mental breakdown. You should
mhm.
use that to pay for the lawyers, and I wouldn't respond to anything else.
I mean, it's wild the goal that these people have. Do people even use that word goal?
I
I
do.
feel like it was appropriate right then. But I feel that for as much money as they have leached out of
Mhm.
Britney's purse over all these years to come back and say, "Oh, now I need you to pay for my lawyer's fees." When I'm going, how the fuck did you rack up a $600,000 lawyer fee anyway? Like,
Right.
how much are your lawyers? Why did you need those lawyers? You were a part of the conservatorship.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wild how expensive those bills got. And then I go, it goes down to just like everything else Brittany has been saying is they have sucked money out of me for
Mhm.
so long. And of course they got the most high paying lawyers to also suck money out of me too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Lynn pretending to not have any idea what's going on. It's like, how what has that done for you? Like, how well are you
Mhm.
doing right now by pretending that you've had no idea? You're just this doting Southern belle, like, who has no clue what's going on. And now everybody is like hip to Lynn's game, and nobody feels sorry for her. You know what I mean? Years ago, she could have spun this in a way, because I think Lynn is like masterful at coming off as a victim.
Mhm.
But I'm like happy for Brittany. I'm like, girl, I would have turned my
Well,
phone off and changed the number forever ago.
I think Brittany's little post about how everyone thinks the conservatorship was her dad's idea and it was actually her mom's idea.
Hmm.
I think changed the way a lot of people think about it. All right, number 6, Avril Lavigne is engaged. Uh, by the way, where did Avril come from? Like she disappeared for 20 years, and now I feel like she is everywhere. Her and Maud's son got engaged under the Eiffel Tower. And they released a photo of them, him on one knee, asking her. I just interviewed him a couple of months ago.
Oh,
Really
really?
fun guy, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
super cool. Saw him at a music festival. I was doing it for my other podcast, Pod Sauce. But anyway, great guy. And she didn't mention it on the red carpet of the Grammys when they were talking about love. And she's just like, I was over love. I didn't want to be in love anymore. Then Maud comes around and we fell in love in like 2 days. And so they were already engaged at the Grammys. She didn't say a thing and revealed it on here. But again, where the hell did she come from?
I honestly was thinking about this the other day, because I was like, wow, like so many young people now care about Avril too. And I guess it's like the early 2000s resurgence. It's like all of like, I would almost equate like Avril to like in the way that Paris has resurfaced, like just because
Mhm.
of her impact on the time period. People are like, hey, you used to wear Juicy Couture tracksuits and those are cool again. You want to be famous again, Burke? A couple, you want to like have a reality
You
show that
want to do this
people,
again? You want to
yeah.
go around this?
You want to start
so,
over?
so like So you were like the moody goth chick, emo chick. So let's do this again.
Yeah, let's give it another go. Which is like, I've always been an Avril fan, but as far as her relationships, I gave up on trying to understand Avril's relationships after Derek Whibley because that was like the only one that made sense to me.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, oh,
you didn't think of Chad? You weren't a fan of Chad Kroeger?
I was like, what is going on? I still like think about that and I just scratch my head like, what?
Yeah, that was a little weird. So this will be her, I guess, third time down the aisle for Avril. Congratulations. Welcome back to being super famous. I don't know why you were at the Grammys, being a presenter, but I'm here for it. So there you go. All right, number 5. The Grammys have been the best thing to happen to John Baptiste. This guy, he's already had a very successful music career. However, listen to these numbers. John Baptiste got a 950% streaming bump following the Grammys. He walked away with 5 Grammys. He put on this incredible stage show that lasted, it felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But apparently all those people out there that he either had never heard of him or reinvigorated something in them went and started downloading his music, streaming his music like crazy. So his music got streamed on demand 2.6 million times on Monday, right after the telecast, like the day after the telecast. And then the day of the telecast, 537,000 streams that day. So just wild how much people wanted to check him out.
I think it's cool because, the Grammys has become this award show that I feel like generally the public usually has like a bad taste about after it's over because of the decisions that they make and the awards that they give out or the awards that they don't give out. And it's cool to see the Grammys like working the way that it used to back in the day. You know what I mean? Where it's like somebody wins a Grammy and then their career takes off. Like it just feels very old school,
But did you think the show was fun?
I don't know if I'd say fun. I was in and out.
It wasn't my favorite.
No.
I feel like it's really sad to me, but I feel like I enjoy watching like the Billboard Music Awards more these days. There's just more performances, more going on. Like it's literally performance, and like to me that's fun. And especially following the Oscars this year and all the crazy shit show that was. The Grammys just felt so like weak. I don't know.
I agree with that. It was definitely not. Yeah, my phone was what I watched most of the night, honestly.
All right. Number 4, Tory Lanez in more trouble. So Tory Lanez, he apparently tweeted, and now he violated a protective order in the Megan Thee Stallion assault case. If you've followed this case at all, this goes back to when he was accused of shooting her in the foot back in July of 2020 outside a Hollywood Hills mansion. But he is a couple times allegedly gone against the restraining order going on stage directly after her at a performance. So that violated the 100 feet rule. And then contacting her, I guess she put up some photos of a text message from him. So he keeps doing dumb stuff. And so he's getting himself in more and more trouble. And he hasn't even gone to trial yet. The trial isn't set until September 14th. And it's like, dude, just stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You're already shot her. You're allegedly.
Right.
You've had all these other issues. Just leave well enough alone and go to trial and stop getting yourself in more trouble.
It makes no, like, I can't wrap my head around how you can be. If I were him, I would be in a bunker. Do you know what I mean? I would literally be under the ground in like a concrete room. Like you wouldn't see me until we go to court. And like, it's obvious. It's just like another display of like, I don't care. I have money right now.
No, someone needs to take away his damn phone. Take it away. If you're his friend, his handler, his manager, like, take the phone away.
Yeah. That advice could be for so many people in Hollywood, but him for sure. Yes. Take the hashtag take the phone away.
Take the phone away. We should start that. I like that. Like Kanye. Hashtag take the phone away from Kanye. No more tweets. Think how handy that would have come with Donald Trump as president. Take the phone away.
Madonna too. Somebody get Madonna's phone.
No kidding. No kidding. All right, number 3, Kanye West. out at Coachella. The Weeknd and Swedish House Mafia are now in. You know, he kind of shocked a lot of people. Kanye was going to be the headliner at Coachella. This was a really big deal, doing the 2 weekends, and then he like pulled out last second. This is where a lot of the rumors about him going away to get help stem from. I mean, he was getting an $8 million payday, according to TMZ, for performing, and now that money will head on over to the Weeknd. But I think a lot of people are happy. Like, there was a lot of backlash about him performing, so having the Weeknd there, I think Swedish House Mafia, always a huge get for Coachella. So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it would have been really irresponsible to go watch Kanye perform at this, like, in this very specific thing too. Like, it's not like it's just some show. You know, it's like headlining Coachella. It's so big. It just feels inappropriate to see him in that way right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I don't want to go watch a man that's like having a mental breakdown publicly. It's giving me like weird Amy Winehouse.
Troy, don't lie. You kind of do a little bit,
Well,
but not really, because that would be not a cool thing to say. At least with Kanye. No, I'm kidding. All jokes aside, mental illness, no joke. But I really do hope he gets the help he needs, because that guy is, I think, struggling. So Harry Styles will be performing right before them. Billie Eilish, huge names at Coachella this year. I think people are just ready to get back and see some live music.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of music, number 2, Ed Sheeran is a huge winner in court. So if you've been following this, Ed has been going to court along with one of the writers that he worked on The Shape of You with, his big, huge hit song, Jim McDade, who you would know from also Snow Patrol. But they were caught up in this court case over, where are they, in the UK? I don't even know where the hell they're at. This court case, it's over a copyright battle. And someone else said, oh no, I wrote that song, and he stole parts of it to make Shape of You. Well, the judge did not agree with that person. The judge agreed with Ed Sheeran and said, listen, there's a lot of songs coming out every day. This one, there was no malintent. They did not deliberately or subconsciously copy a phrase from that song. So Ed, very happy. He did release a statement. I'm going to play a quick statement here.
Hey guys, me, Johnny and Steve have made a joint statement that will be press released on the outcome of this case, but I wanted to make a small video to talk about it a bit because I've not really been able to say anything whilst it's been going on. Whilst we're obviously happy with the result, I feel like claims like this are way too common now and have become a culture where a claim is made with the idea that a settlement will be cheaper than taking it to court, even if there's no base for the claim. It's really damaging to the songwriting industry. There's only so many notes and very few chords used in pop music. Coincidence is bound to happen if 60,000 songs are being released every day on Spotify. That's 22 million songs a year, and there's only 12 notes that are available. I don't want to take anything away from the pain and hurt suffered from both sides of this case, but I just want to say I'm not an entity. I'm not a corporation. I'm a human being. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. Lawsuits are not a pleasant experience, and I hope with this ruling it means in the future baseless claims like this can be avoided. This really does have to end. Me, Johnny and Steve are very grateful for all the support sent to us by fellow songwriters over the last few weeks. Hopefully we can all get back to writing songs rather than having to prove that we can write them. Thank you.
So that was his statement, and yeah, he's walking away a very happy man.
Yeah, I saw in his statement that he had said, you know, that this is like a thing that's becoming really popular, you know, for people to do this. And I do think that that's interesting. Like, it's becoming its own like industry to be like, this song was stolen, and then you just get a bunch of press for saying that the song was stolen, and you know, your song is now like all over the place. So that is like I do think there's a lot of people doing that like just for no reason now.
Yeah, because it's a quick cash grab. People are like, oh, if I say this is my song because there was one word that it was similar, or I could twist it to make it sound, and then people are going to go, well, fuck it, I don't want to take this to court. So just pay him what he wants, and like, let's move along with life. And Ed said, nope, not happening.
Yeah, and good for him.
Good. I totally agree. Good for him. All right. That was just a quick one. And number 1, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker did not get married. for reals. So this became like one of the biggest stories of the week. If you've been living under a rock, you wouldn't have heard about it. However, there was all these photos that came out after the Grammys. Kourtney and Travis went to this little chapel. They had Elvis marry them, but there was one huge problem. They didn't have a marriage license, so it is not a real marriage, which I'm kind of happy about because I felt really bad that no one was there.
Yeah.
Like, you know who I felt the worst for? Was Travis's kids.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like, Landon not being there for his dad's wedding, I thought was just kind of like a big FU.
Mhm.
Like, I get it. You're in the moment. You're drunk because I saw videos of them walking around afterwards. They look trash.
Yeah.
But I just think that's really hurtful for the family that you're like, cool. Like, I get it. You're in love. You want to get married. But, like, what about the rest of us that want to celebrate with you? And I know they said they would have more,
Yeah.
but, like, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I think that it feels as an outsider like they're in this place of like, you know, they're too cool. Like they're very like, we're too cool to do anything conventional in this relationship. Like, you know, and I do think that there's an element of we've both been put through it in our own ways. And they also have like that weird thing where they've both been on reality TV and had failed relationships on reality television already. So it kind of feels like they just generally don't care about anybody's thoughts, even the kids. Like they're just really in their own, as Teresa Giudice would say, love bubble. And they're just like, you know, they're in it. Like they just don't care. They're a cool, I'm with the skater boy couple and they don't care about our thoughts.
Yeah.
They don't need a marriage license. They're too cool for it.
Screw that marriage license. And the only reason they literally couldn't get one was because it was at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't physically get one or they would have been married at this point. I know Kris Jenner knew. I know Khloe was apparently on FaceTime. Kim was asleep, so she didn't even know anything happened till the next morning, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, so they're going to have to go retry this whole thing and do it for reals. And honestly, can you imagine Hulu just shitting themselves on Monday morning, finding out and being like, whoa. We just paid you guys so much money and you like, this is the reason. Like, we need the marriages. We need that television event. And if you're going to just go and do it on your own time, you're going to screw Hulu over. So I bet they're very happy that this is going to have to go on again.
Yeah, they're like, what's the guy's name that does like the Bachelor ring, like Stuart Weissman or whatever? They're like, we have this guy here and with like white gloves, like a butler here to give you a ring, and this isn't even real. We have a reality TV wedding ready to go.
What is that guy's name?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy, the ring guy.
Yeah, the guy.
Oh, I can't remember his name. Damn it. Well, there you go. So that is your top 10 Hollywood Raw rundown. Get you through the week. Now you can go off, chat to everyone, say you know all the biggest stories. A huge thank you to my buddy Troy. Troy, thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys haven't checked out any of his podcasts, I highly recommend it. If you are into celebrity blind items, highly recommend the Beyond the Blinds podcast. Adam and I were guests on this. We had so much fun. We laughed the whole time. But it's literally, and for anyone who doesn't know what a blind item is, it's information about a celebrity or celebrities, and they don't say the name of the celeb, and the information can be super juicy. And then you read it and kind of try to guess. But the best part about their podcast is they actually reveal who the celebrity is, because maybe it's an older blind, or we found out at this point. So check out Beyond the Blind podcast. He also hosts the Dunzo podcast, and you can find him at Troy McKeedy. Am I saying your last name right? I feel like I've only called you Troy, so I'm like,
No,
you know when you say
it.
something and you're immediately judging yourself in your head, like, did I just say that right?
Yeah. I do that with my own name, but yes, you are saying it right.
So there you go, guys. Thank you, Troy. Really, really appreciate you hopping on last minute while Adam was out. I appreciate it, bud.
I had so much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, guys, don't forget to hop on by iTunes, leave us a review, 5 stars only, so we can read it out during one of our main shows as a little thank you. That is it. Follow us on Hollywood Raw, IG, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the socials, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best thing you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.